Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? I hope you're well. This is Ken at 10, broadcasting to you live from Norbury SW16, which is a lovely little place just situated bang between Streatham to the north and Croydon to the south. And we talk about property every day here. We're James Alexander Estate Agents. We sell and let stuff and talk about what's going on in the news, really, as well as what's going on in the housing market. Just finished a podcast with the lovely Hema Sharma, which we'll be releasing shortly. She's from Alan Buckley Solicitors, our favourite conveyancing solicitor. And we talked about all things today, sealed bids, and about best and final offers. So if you're interested in that, we'll be publishing that live shortly on our socials. And that's the Property Buyer and Sellers Podcast. You can look it up on your local podcast provider, including iTunes. Just look for Ken Humes podcast, the Property Buyer and Sellers Podcast. Either of those should bring it up for you. So how are you today? Friday, yay, my favorite day of the week. If you watch regularly, you'll know that. Couple of things. First of all, we are on telly, maybe right now. Between 10 and 11 this morning on BBC One, we have Homes Under the Hammer. We've got an appearance there in Tooting, talking about a property that needed quite a bit of work, as you'll see. That was fun. So hopefully you'll see us over there. It's literally between 10 and 11. So do have a tune into that if you'd like to see what went on there. A few things going on in the news. One in the Express that caught my eye is Torbay Council, and they've refused to take on any Afghan refugees because the council leader says the local authority is dealing with a crisis situation with our own people. Well, doubtless because people are buying holiday homes down there and have been emigrating down there or migrating down there from London. You know, we've had that whole kind of migration because of the Zoom commuting going on. And Kevin Foster, the local MP, criticised the decision, saying no one's expecting an area like Torbay to make a commitment of a large city, but to set the level at zero is very disappointing. Well, it is, given what they're going through out there, isn't it? But that's where they're up to. A couple other things. There is so little student accommodation in Bristol that they're housing them in Bath. Sounds almost kinky, doesn't it? Students housed in a Bath. But no, in Bath, they're having to move towns in order to find somewhere to live. They've got huge demand around there. And Lloyds Bank is becoming a big landlord. They're planning to become one of the UK's largest landlords, if not the largest, in fact, because at the moment, we've got Granger, which is the largest UK landlord, and they have 9,100 properties, and they're worth about 2.1 billion. If they carry on and do what they say they're going to do and buy 50,000 homes in the next 10 years, then that will bring a portfolio of about 4 billion. Profits of around 300 million. So they will become the UK's largest landlord. It's interesting, isn't it, that banks are now getting into buy-to-let in such a way, not just in loaning money to others, but they've seen the money and they're going for it themselves now. So that's interesting to see. Lots of deals going on in the city, I see, in the London Evening Standard, saying that there's lots of confidence in the office market in London, which is good to see because, of course, being a London suburb commuter town, we want to see London liven up and open up and people start to commute and work from there as they used to do. In the podcast, we're talking today about sealed bids and offers over and how to bid. And I hope you find that helpful. So do have a look at that. It's a very frustrating process for those of you that are on the bad end of that. But what the gist of it is this: make sure that you're clear in your buying position, make sure you provide evidence of your deposit and your mortgage arrangements, and don't forget to inject your personality and let them know how much you enjoyed meeting the owners, and make sure that they like you, because if they like you, they're more likely to go with your offer. But the money will count, so make sure you put your best foot forward in terms of the numbers. And unusual numbers sometimes work rather than round numbers as well, just going for a slightly strange number rather than, for instance, 500,000, maybe 500,000, 500 or something like that. It can make the difference. But the thing that will make the difference most of all is your capability and your ability to be the best buyer, not just in the amount of money, but in the level of deposit. The efficiency of your chain or your personal circumstances can make a huge difference. So Friday, our favorite day of the week, as you know, it's my favorite day for those of you regular watchers. Why? Because it's the day we get everybody out viewing. We like to make sure all the clients out there looking for a house to buy are viewing the ones that we have available. So we get on the ring round, ring everybody. Are you still looking? What you're looking for? What's the best ones you've seen so far? Why are you moving? Try and really discuss and get those conversations out in the open so we can make sure we provide the very best of service to our sellers and buyers. Apart from that, lots of valuations as well, which is great to see. And what we're finding though at the moment, and what's likely to continue, I think, is there's going to be a shortage of property for sale this year. And I think that's because a lot of people that tried to move did so earlier in the year in order to take advantage of the huge stamp duty saving of 15,000. Of course, there's still a saving of 2,500 if you manage to buy before the end of September. Unlikely that you're going to do that if you're just thinking about moving now. But on from that, what we found is it means a lot of people that were thinking of moving have done so already. You know, a lot of the moves, you know, we've had so much business in the first half of this year that we anticipate that there won't be as much supply, and yet the demand is still quite strong. So if you're thinking of selling, it could be a good time to sell. Finding a home to move to, that's a little bit more tricky for the reasons already discussed. So that's it for today. I'm going to keep it nice and brief, and do tune into BBC One Homes Under the Hammer right now. We're on there at some point in Tooting. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back on Monday with another show. Until then, look after your family and friends. Stay safe and well.